Hello again, and welcome to the Sunday Smoke channel. This week I wanted to do a very simple video showing basically how I use my Weber Smoky Mountain smoker. This channel isn't always focused on smoking or barbecue. In fact, there'll be several episodes that don't do either of those things. But I do love to use the smoker, and I find that it can make an ordinary meal even better. That said, I'll now walk through how I set up my very old, very well used smoker. Here we go. Start with the base. Make sure it's empty of any previous coals and ash. Make sure the legs are stable and all the bolts are tight, and that the bottom reflector is level. There's a pan under there that you can barely see from this angle. That needs to be level. Then open the 3 dampers all the way so you can see through all the 3 holes on all 3 dampers. I've used this smoker for 8 years and I almost never need to adjust these bottom dampers. So just start with them all the way open and get as much oxygen in there as you can. I do use the top damper to control the temperature. Next, place the charcoal grate in. Make sure that sits nice and level, followed by this charcoal ring, which will hold all the charcoal in the center. Now we'll load our charcoal and start some in the chimney. Make sure you're using regular charcoal. I just like this Kingsford. Don't get anything that has any lighter fluid in it or any other additives like that. Just pure straight up charcoal. Never use the Easy Light charcoal, and don't use the liquid lighter fluid either. I know that's fun and looks cool, but I highly don't recommend doing that. Instead, use a barbecue chimney starter. You can pick one of these up at the hardware store for like 10 to 15 bucks. Obviously mine is old and rusty, but it still works really great. So fill the chimney just over halfway. And then use a starter cube, which you can also get from the hardware store for just a few dollars. A whole pack of these. Pop one through the foil. You only need one to start the charcoal. Place it on a flat, unburnable surface and light it. Then place the chimney over the burning cube, directly centering it. Let that burn completely. It'll take about 15 minutes. And of course, be sure you don't have the chimney too close to the house or the garage or any building materials that could catch on fire. Just let it sit and do its thing for a good 15 minutes. While that's going, fill your charcoal ring on the smoker. Okay, it's been 15 minutes. Let's check the chimney. It should be nice and toasty like this. And pick the chimney up by the handle and start pouring it onto the coals. Do the perimeter of the ring and completely make a circle and then move to the center. This will ensure that you have a nice even temperature across the coals. Now assemble the center stack. First, make sure the fuel door is on and secure, and then place the drip pan in. You can either fill the bottom of the drip pan with water or just line it with aluminum foil like I've done here. Using foil will increase the heat temperature just a little, not too much, but enough. The purpose of the drip pan is to catch any fat drippings and prevent them from dripping into the coals, which would flare up and cause flames to potentially scorch your meat or cause fluctuating temperatures, which would be less than desirable smoke. So definitely use the drip pan. And next we'll place in the lower and the upper grilling racks. And then lift the entire center stack unit and place it on top of the smoker base, which has your burning coals. And finally place the top lid on and open the damper. Make sure that's completely open. And then position the lid so that the temperature gauge is directly in line with the fuel door. Just makes things easier. Let the smoker heat up to the desired temperature. If it starts to get hotter than desired, gradually close the damper on the top and check it every few minutes until the temperature becomes consistent. Most often between 200 and 250 degrees is where you want to smoke things. If you still can't get the temperature down after completely closing the top tamper, then you can start closing the bottom 3 tampers one at a time. Okay, with your desired temp achieved, open the fuel door and add a few fist-sized chunks of your favorite wood. Apple wood and other fruit woods usually add a delicate smoke flavor, while the hickory and the mesquite add a much heavier and bold smokiness. So depending on what meat you're going with, fish and chicken usually like the apple and the fruit wood, and brisket and longer smokes tend to do better with the mesquite or hickory. Many people mix the wood chunks into the charcoal at the beginning and light the coals and do it all at once. Personally, I prefer to wait until I'm about to throw the meat on, and then I'll add the fist-sized chunks of wood at that point. It's wise to use tongs to place the wood chunks in, not your bare hands like I'm poorly modeling here. Load your food onto the grill and leave it to do its thing, slow and low until the appropriate food temperature is achieved. Use a meat thermometer to test the meat periodically, and that's how you'll know when your meat is ready. And there you have it, set up and using the Weber Smoky Mountain Smoker to cook. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next Sunday.